3 years ago, I wrote an article about this club dying.
Are we going to slip up here? Is this the time that we're going to slip up?
A mistake that I don't expect to make.
Holy Lance, breaking me, and he got a shot away!
Probably one of the best weeks of my life.
It was amazing.
Come on! Equaliser!
One more time.
The best decision I've ever made in my life.
We want promotion and we'll do everything we can to achieve that.
Hello and welcome to the Gateshead Stadium, York Street for the second National League North playoff semi-final between Boston United and Gateshead. Jake Wright scores for the Pilgrims, it's 5-2 and surely Boston are heading for the playoff final back here next Saturday against Altrincham.
It was difficult to take, it was really, because I felt as though we were in a good position. That is life. It's things that come and blindside you, and you've just got to adapt and move on.
Boston United are through to the National League North playoff final, defeating Gateshead.
You either win or you learn. I think that's a Kobe saying, and I was confident in the playoffs, but again, there's a lot to take from that, a lot of lessons, and I'm sure we'll be stronger for it.
It's a very bitter pill to swallow right now. Emotions are raw, but it's far from the end. Like I said to the lads, it's all about how we respond for it. Like I said, what will separate the winners and losers in the end is how we react to this. Because this club, from the directors coming in, they've been phenomenal. They've backed us, and I'm extremely grateful for that backing. And it just adds to my desire to play.
It's credit to everyone sitting here, and the directors and the coaching staff. It is because it's a big collective effort.
Next question.
You were telling me a story at training earlier this week about was it 4 years ago? Would you like to tell the rest of the room about what happened when Mr. Keller was there?
Tell it if you want us to, do you?
Go on. Yes. You can also say how good I am at training.
It's been a revolution on the place, everyone loves it. No, it was just, obviously, with this time of year, it was going back 3-4 years ago, I can't remember when it was, and it was round about this time. I think I got a memory on my phone when we were training up the top, and one of the stadium staff came up and got me and said that you need to come down now because you've been kicked out the stadium. But it was just one chatting to Dave, just sort of how far we've came from getting kicked out the stadium. We literally weren't allowed back in to get anything, to now, and I do think that it'll just keep improving and everything will keep getting better, and I'll be telling the same story in 10 years when Dave's asking me it, so yeah. Next question.
What would you consider the best performance of the season so far?
There's been different performances because, see, Kidderminster, we were really good. A lot of fans would have looked at that as a perfect performance, but we really played our strengths. Leamington away at the start of the season when we got beat. That day in its full self was, I could tell you a million stories from that day. It was a bit of an eye-opener for me of what a good group that we had.
Let's have one of those stories.
It was just how the day went. We got on the bus, the aircon was broke, leather seats, everyone was sweating. We got the services to stop for some food. One of the players thought it was a good idea to have a clippo. So he had a clippo. I don't want to embarrass Mike, but the strength that he showed just to be there on the night kind of took everyone not by surprise because we know what he's like, but it was a massive respect to him for doing that. We dominated the game, lost the game to 2 set pieces, which a lot of people would think that's probably our weakness. So we left the game and one of our players was stroking a cat, and more interested in the cat, to be fair, than anything else. And it was just an array of things that was happening. I just thought, yeah, we've got a real good group here. We've got a group who are going to stick together. We've got a manager who is sometimes beyond human. So I knew from then that we were going to have a good, not just a good season, because whatever happens this season, the success for me is just every day. Having the football club turning up, having people enjoy it, having you guys, the fans, the energy. So for me, the success isn't getting promoted or winning any trophy. It's simply just the process of every day.
You know, as we were saying before too, you go out there, and I've never seen a thoroughly decent bunch of young men, and that's not just players. You know, as players, we travel up and down this country to see the lads, and that's, you know, that is a phenomenal thing. And I was, you two are, you know, the heads of that, and I just think it's, you know, it's phenomenal really, and to have that, you know, it's the behind the scenes sort of thing that people don't see us, you know, like me and Lee flying down, finishing work at 5 o'clock and driving down to Aldringham to be there for 4 to 8. You know, that's the things that people don't see, and to be part of something like we said just before there, it's absolutely phenomenal.
And why is that?
No credit.
Because we all love Gateshead.
Because we all love it, yeah, and absolute credit to where we are this season, this evening, you know.
Yeah, you're spot on. That, you know, your words just sum up this football club and what it is it's the heart of the community.
Yeah,
and you know, without fans, what's a football club? Absolutely. Exactly. So talking about the years ago when the club was on the brink and you had to come together, and it feels like a special place. It really does.
After the kiddie game, like you said, the confidence was so high. Everyone started to believe then that it was something that we really, truly could achieve. You know, I think we all kind of quietly believed it, and within ourselves we all believed it. But then I think that was sort of a real turning point for everyone to think, you know what, we can do this. It was almost a case of let's go and do it after that.
Gateshead, of course, sitting top of the league, and will be wanting to heap the pressure on Brackley, who are chasing in second. Kedwin Scott, he's in it, second time! Kedwin Scott now buries it into the back of the net. It's 3-0 to Gateshead. Conor Manning first touch, great save, poked into the back of the net! That is the hat-trick. Gateshead run out 4-0 winners. We've had the first hat-trick of the season.
We weren't one of those teams who had one main goal scorer and everything went through them. And I think that helped us in a way.
Over the 90 minutes we were outstanding. I think that was just down to the belief that we had in myself as a group. Going to Boston, which is normally like a real daunting task, becomes something that you're kind of looking forward to, and somewhere that you think that you're kind of going to go and get a result.
Alright, we mean hell for them all day today. That's out of possession, we mean hell.
It hit me, the ball. To be fair, I was the person behind. I think someone jumped on us, and then I seen you tweeted to say that it was mine. So who might say it's not mine?
When I score, I don't really sort of go wild, so I was just quite calm, and then I realised the fans were over behind me, so I did just a little drop of the shoulder and ran over to them. That was a big win for me, just like the kiddie one. Felt like a real sort of tough, typical away game, and that just cemented more belief in us that, you know, we're getting closer and closer. Just stick in and keep doing the same things.
It was a game where we were kind of probably hanging on for one of the only games of the season, but I don't think that game is looked back on as much as it might have been. Especially being so late into the season, coming away from Boston away with a 2-1 win is obviously a credit to ourselves.
But when you're playing against the top teams, you know, you're more focused, switched on, you're in the game. I wouldn't say you're more up for it, but consciously you're more focused. So I think these games against these teams are tougher. But they've made a few signings in the past few weeks. They've got some really good players. I know a few of them personally, so we know it's going to be a really tough game. We played them a couple of months ago, and it was a really close game. They're a good side, got some good players, so we're going to have to be on our game.
Good opportunity for you though, isn't it, to add to your, 22 goals this season, is it?
26 in our competition.
26 competitions.
Aye.
I mean, it's a good opportunity for you, isn't it, to add to those?
Yeah, 100%. I think every game I put in, I want to score as many goals as I can. I feel I'm scoring goals and helping the team.
Well, Cardiff's problems off the pitch over the last couple of years and has rebuilt impressively. Do you feel that this is a place that is going places?
Yeah, definitely. And that comes from the coaching staff, the ethos they've tried to set here. And just build a good environment to come in and work and enjoy. And I think that's what everyone's doing. And the fans are really enjoying it as well. And we have to keep delivering on the pitch and keep them coming back and growing that bond between the community and the players.
That's great. That's all I think. Thank you very much.
Do you kind of find it difficult to sort of retain focus on that next game at a time?
No, I'm not interested. Like I say, there's nothing achieved, no success. The fact that hard work and discipline of making sure we focus on the next session got us in this position, and that won't change.
I think you mentioned before as well, obviously you and Adam coming into training together, that you kind of ran through a lot of scenarios.
Yeah, so it was I think it was every morning we'd discuss what could happen. We were discussing every game in the league. We even had like a thing going on in our notes where we'd predict all the games in the league just to keep our kind of mind occupied and not think about what we had to do. So it's just a scenario that none of us had ever been in before, so it's how the hell they handle it. And I know Mike gave a speech in the dressing room about looking at results and stuff, and he was even finding himself checking them. So we probably came away from what we were doing and how we were winning games and concentrating on what other teams were doing.
As much as I suppose, maybe fans want to hear me talk about how, really high, really enjoyed this and I'll let go, and it's still about the process and about the job. And if you walk off the pitch and we've had a positive result and we run in and we check the Brackley score and they've had a positive result, it takes away a little bit, and ultimately the focus is all on ourselves. And we knew that even when we weren't ahead in the league table, it was a case of just focusing on ourselves regardless of what happens. It's easy to say next practice or next game focus. To live it is different, and I think that was after a while the real confirmation that it is really irrelevant. We just got to focus on what we do.
Gateshead still top of the league and looking to keep it that way this afternoon with another 3 points. Bradford Park Avenue, who are occupying the lower reaches of the league in the National League North.
And it was probably the most frustrating day we've had here.
It was just one of them games where nothing was going in and nothing was going right for us.
To Campbell. Now Ollie, can he get across in right side of the box? He can't. Oh! Kedwin Scott laces away from contact and it skims past the post. Ball goes through. Oh, it's going to fall to Langstaff. Can he get the shot? He checks his man. He's going to lay it off to Campbell. Back to Langstaff shot. Oh!
Goalkeeper done very well there.
Scott Dunson for company, gets past him. Can he get past another man? Lays it off. Oh, Malley's got the ball. Gets the shot off. Great save! Great save for the Charters. Can he get it inside? Nice touch from Scott. Scott goes for the shot. Keeper. Oh, how did he get that shot away from that?
Their keeper was outstanding because we did have a lot of chances. But in football, sometimes you get them games where nothing's going in.
It does kind of play in your mind more the fact that, are we going to slip up here? Is this the time that we're going to slip up and Brackley are going to go on and win and it's all going to change?
He's going to hold up for him, it is. He's going to keep it in. Gets past his man, does really well. And Ollie, along with dead ball length, pulls it in. Now he's going to follow Campbell! Over the bar! Tipped over. Oh, lovely vision from Ollie just to pick out Campbell. As he dinks it over there for the run of Langstaff. Lovely flick to Tinkler, can he finish it? Pulls it back, Campbell! Oh! Tinkler! Oh! Offside flag goes up.
It's like a game of ping pong.
Macaulay Langstaff's breaking net. Can he get a shot away? Oh, great save by the keeper. And there is the full-time whistle. It is 0-0 here at the moment as we say this. It is 1-1 at Spennymoor, and Brackley might look back and say if it is a draw there, we missed a chance to go 5 points clear. The game down at Brackley next week is a massive game. If Gateshead can win that, they can potentially go 6 points clear.
I mean, you're seeing the lads walk off the pitch there. It's been the first time in a long time where they came off bitterly disappointed.
I think we still could have been there right now and not scored a goal. We probably had 70% possession and we created some clear-cut chances. But on that day, it wasn't meant to be.
I think in a way it was probably a good thing to happen because we won a few games in a row quite comfortably and stuff, and then I think it was sort of a realisation that you can't just turn up at home and expect to steamroll teams, and I think even you can't expect to turn up in games, play well and win, but it wasn't panic stations at all because obviously we're having a great year and we're scoring freely, and although we didn't score in that game at home, whatever, it was far from panic stations really.
You're on the right. Open up.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's alright, okay.
My bad.
Last one.
Don't put me in slow motion.
Over at the halfway line. Yeah. If you get into a full stride.
Pink's in the middle. Pink 2.
Are you doing it?
No.
Yeah.
Oi, Dave! Push it twice. 5, 6, 7, 8.
I don't think I felt any pressure personally. It was just we were going down to Brackley, who would beat 2-0 in the season already.
Brackley Town are sitting top of the league, Gateshead in third place with 2 games in hand. It's a proverbial 6-pointer. Can Gateshead get themselves right on the heels of Brackley Town? Deliver this one in. Goes in there. Bowen Bailey with a shot in! What a header! It come across! The Brackley Town defence just kind of stood dormant there as Bailey rose. It was good pressure from Gateshead, and now downward physical form for Blackett. He's got past his man. Can he get past the keeper? He goes front, goes to a tight angle. It's in! 2-0! Gateshead turned the pressure in midfield. They won the ball and then just left the Brackley Town in their way. A convincing win, a clean sheet, and more importantly, 3 points that see Gateshead get a foothold near the top of the table.
It really became evident that it was going to be a 2-horse race between Gateshead and Brackley, but Brackley just wouldn't let go. And it was interesting coming away from games and looking and thinking, Brackley have won 1-0, they've scored late on. Brackley have won 1-0, they've scored a penalty.
You're like, wow, 1-0 again, and you almost start to laugh, like they've won 1-0, like 3-4 times out of 5 games. But I did have that thought process of, like, is it sustainable to win 1-0 every week?
It's going to be a big game, first v second. And the fans, yeah, you know, that's what the fans are there for. It's for them to enjoy the ride, the roller coaster, and you know, make games out and occasions out to be bigger than what they potentially could be. But for us, it was just business as usual.
We all thought that we could go there and win. We all believed it. But to be fair, we all knew it. We also went down with the mindset of, if we go there and win, it's not over. If we go there and get beat, it's not over.
I'm tight. Oh, Phil, nearly in Phil. Listen, nothing changes. I don't expect any of you to be tearing around like me. I haven't got a game tomorrow, alright? But mentally, switching on, key you get back in there, taking us, conceding a goal. By the way, that wasn't meant to back us. What was the... Aye, give me the eyes. Said whoop. Give me the old whoop. Where big one? Right, take off. Yeah. Yes! Come on! Oh, Mark, yeah. 3 points non-bids, we'll go one more round of that. Ken's on. Brilliant teams. I'm back, come on! Brilliant, Pedro.
Hell, outside man again, man.
Walking in, boys, walking in.
Lads, take on. Just to give a point each in the department on coaching. 1 point that's going to win us the game tomorrow. Starting an attacker. 1 point, give us 1 point that's going to win us the game. Energy. Midfielders.
Second forward.
Defenders.
We're in new battle.
Let's go then. That's the
come on, come on.
How it is.
I knew going to that game that it was a big game. It had that feeling. It was a red hot day and all the fans had came down, so I knew it was a big game.
The game had a sort of buzz to it. We had a very good crowd come down with us, and you could see a few of us were sort of a bit nervous.
We're playing our main rivals at the time in the final leg of the season. I think it was a great day of growth, to be honest with you.
Doesn't need any motivation from me, any talk to team. All I'm going to see is, right, generally each and every one of you love you, alright, and I'm excited to team. I'm excited to see this form. And more than anything, I'm excited to see how hard you're going to work. 2 centre halves, I'm excited to see you dominant forward, who everyone talks about. Yeah, 2 fullbacks, I'm excited to see you get up and down. Your distribution's brilliant. Midfielders, I'm excited to see you run the gap. Yeah, Harry, get on the ball, express yourself. Greggy, same with you. Go past please. Beals, you dominate like you always do. You three. You see you're too clever for them, yeah, getting them little space all the time. Used to, you're going to mock. You don't stop. Alright, 90 minutes comes, you dragging us off the pitch. Alright, you don't live with us today. So that's what I'm excited to see. Alright, that's the feeling I want you to have. That excitement to perform, yeah? You've got now, don't ask for anything. Yeah, come on then. Come on.
Hot day, the pitch was dried out, a little bit bobbly, we couldn't play our normal passing stuff.
It was very transitional the first 45 minutes and we couldn't get we were too eager to play forward too fast.
I think they started dropping deeper and deeper and they were sort of happy for a point and we were the side pushing really.
I had it on the left, probably in the left back position. I really wanted to go forward, but I didn't really see a pass. And I passed it back to Louis and I turned trying to get into my next position.
A mistake from myself, a mistake that ultimately you don't expect to make.
it's a debatable penalty, but you're obviously going to get it.
The kiddies knocked it out of play and then gone over our keeper. So I think, you know, certain refs give it, certain refs don't.
That's when it starts to sort of kick into your mind that, you know, it's going to be difficult. From there on out again, we're pushing for an equaliser then. Yeah, that was difficult. Getting beat when you feel like you've done at least enough for a point in such a big game was tough to take, especially when you kind of see them celebrating and stuff. I remember Louis stood up and he did a good speech. He was saying just about that game won't define us.
We collectively made a decision that it wasn't going to define us, and it wasn't going to hold us back, and we knew that we were going to have hiccups like that. Didn't know exactly what they would look like, but we knew we'd have hiccups of that sort because it wasn't going to just be plain sailing. So that was a big day of growth, I think, for the group.
Obviously you look on Twitter and there's loads of comments going around after the Brackley game saying you need to try harder, like there's no passion there, you need to, and it all just adds up. It's like we're in this position because we've done all that. How can one game affect that?
It's hard because there was mixed kind of people on their team. There was a couple of lads who like came up and they were like, "Oh, you were excellent, whatever, well done, like good luck for the rest of the season," stuff. And then you obviously seen the rest of them sort of jumping on each other and spraying water around and stuff and jumping about it like as if they had won the league. And obviously you do look at that and you think, like, you know, don't celebrate too early.
I just know walking off the pitch, a couple of their fans next to the tunnel gave me a bit of stick, and I was like, you just kind of haven't done anything yet. But that only just drives someone. I'm not really fuel driven. I just concentrate on, and I'm pretty calm, but that did stick in my head, what those two fans said. But I remember our interview after the game, I said, can they handle the pressure? That was my final statement, because they hadn't been in that position yet. We'd been in that position the full time. So with that game, it was obviously disappointing to lose, but look what happened after that.
Can he finish it 1-1 with the keeper? He can! It's 1-0! Macaulay Langstaff plays it across. Cameron Scott, can he put it in? He can! It's 2-0! Campbell has the ball, cuts and say, can he finish it? He can! He's got a double on the afternoon! Ollie, oh, was that in? It's in! It's in! Ollie nods it across the line!
Up until then, I kind of was checking results, especially if we're playing wherever, you know, you come off with a win and you go, oh, how did they get on? Like, oh, we're 4 points clear or 3 points clear, you know, and you're checking everything. But it's pointless getting kind of bogged down on saying that they've won, and if anything, it just affects you negatively. Because there's a lot of times where I would look and it would be like, oh, Bratley's won 1-0. And you're thinking, like, you're imagining the goal and you're thinking they've just defended and they've scored on the break, whatever. and it just annoys you more. So the best way to deal with that is just totally block it out, don't even look. And then yeah, like Mike was massive on sort of just don't even look at the table. And I don't think anyone checked the Brackley score after that. They might have a home, but no one, especially not in here, no one was even talking about Brackley. It was all about us and all about what we can do. And I think that was a massive point for us as well.
All that really matters is obviously our process, you know, our belief, and what's important to us as a group of players, as a coaching team, as a club. And at that time, it was about just being 100% present when we were at football and doing our job, but then also zooming out so that we could essentially not become emotionally drained by the whole process, because it's all that everyone wanted, and it's about picking them right times to be 100% present. But then sometimes you take that step back so the next time you come in, you're the best version of yourself.
Hey, go on, Waddy walk. Go on, Waddy walk. Come here, stand here for me. Just stand here. Stand here. I need to ask you a question. Yeah. Talk us through that outside of the foot pass to Matty Jacob against Guiseley.
Yeah, well, you know, seeing Matty run down the line, I just thought, you know, good to get 3 points into the next round.
He's got a chat. Oh no, we're on.
There you go. Yeah, it's going to value that like through the roof now.
See if this was John.
Why is it not zoomed in, Josh?
We have to kind of stay down.
It's sort of focusing. Yeah.
Well done, Macca. New job for you, that lad.
Go on, turn it right round. Turn it right round. Go on.
What do you mean? On me?
I think it was the day of the Darlington game when it really hit home.
This was probably the game that Darlington had to win if they were hoping to get in the playoffs.
Us are very much in a position with a lot on the line. Darlington maybe not as much so, and probably got a point to prove.
If there is any fear or shackles or nerves, they've got to disappear, because we have to go out and attack it.
Darlington are a dangerous team and we all knew that. It was more just get physically prepared and go again. To be really honest, we were probably the worst we've been. I think we were terrible for the first half.
The free kick was ridiculous. It was a wonder strike, and then the penalty was also equally as ridiculous at the other end of the scale.
To go 2-0 down early was difficult. I think a lot of people were probably getting frustrated.
We had probably 2 or 3 opportunities where I think AC would have been disappointed, Macca would have been disappointed.
It didn't feel normal, it didn't feel like us. So you just think the luck's maybe not with you.
I think at half time it was a lot of frustration. For the first time, people were sort of getting frustrated with each other for maybe a minute, and then it got nipped in the bud straight away.
Don't think there was necessarily anything malicious said. It was just sort of giving each other a kick up the backside and saying, look, we're better than this. We haven't got into this position just to play this poorly and throw it away.
We've got so much quality around this change room. There's still 45 minutes. We need to do this.
We were either going to get beat 2-0 that game and go out all guns blazing, or we were going to score 3 and 4. see when they were 2-0 up, they, as teams naturally do, they stop sort of attacking as much and just sort of rest on that lead a little bit.
The energy changed a little bit with the belief of we know we've got goals, we know we're on the front foot.
Keep going forward, keep sort of zapping the energy out of them, and we'll cause them a problem all day long, and we did.
The noise when we scored the first, it was amazing.
You could tell that there was just a belief around the ground that we were going to win, and at that stage I wasn't even thinking about a draw, I knew that we were going to win.
It was just another one of those moments where time stands still.
It felt electric. There's points where it gives you a wave of energy. Potentially it should be acknowledged that the crowd should have at least an assist for that, for one of, if not a few of the goals that day, because you could really feel it.
I remember the third going in, and it was just an unbelievable feeling, but then obviously when the fourth goes in, just like a crazy feeling of relief and sheer joy. Like, it was an unbelievable feeling, especially at home. I think it's probably one of the best feelings I've had as a player, especially here. So yeah, it was what a day that was. Yeah.
To experience all of the good emotions in the second half, it's just that release of energy and release of emotion, and seeing Mike do it was strange. You'd never see that outburst of emotion from him. So, and obviously when we got in the change room, we did have a bit of a celebration. Maybe it was a bit premature, but that just felt like the right time to do it.
Now, Mike doesn't give a lot away as a manager, which is the way managers should be, I think. But that was a telling point that he thought, we're on the right track here, and as long as we keep our heads, we'll be okay.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favourite days. It's got to be. Like I say, the relief afterwards, after the elation of obviously the disappointment of going behind the roller coaster points tally-wise, then going ahead. It was more relief after the game more than anything.
To say that the foundations of what you're seeing now were put in place the minute Mike was appointed, and when Busted was appointed, he's number 2, because the word you keep hearing around the club is process. It's process. Everything's process driven, and that hasn't just been brought in at the start of this season or in March. That's been in place since day one. Yes, it's got to a point now where the process is in overdrive, if you want to call it that. But this has been a long-term project, an ongoing project as well, by the way,
Yeah.
for Mike and for Busted, and now Louis Story's on board, and Carl Magnez having a bit of a say, and Chris Bell as well. We shouldn't forget Belly. Someone who gets overlooked is Ian. Busted. I think he's been a constant throughout the last 6, 7, 8 years at the club. Worked under numerous managers. And I think a lot was maybe about how he would step up into that assistant manager role on a more permanent basis. Mike always gave off the vibe that he would be a strong leader as a manager. He was always keen to stick to his ideologies as a player. And I always thought he would transform that into being a manager as well.
When things aren't going your way, I think my natural tendency is just to relax a little bit and not get consumed by any fear or doubt or anything like that, because there's still a job to be done, and until the final whistle, you've always got a chance. But yeah, like I say, I think when you've been in a game where you felt so much frustration, you felt hard done by refereeing decisions, and a wonder goal, which is all credit to the quality we're playing against. It's nice, it's enjoyable. It's just to allow that, to enjoy it. But like I say, walking in the changing room, what the boys, and I'm sure some of them get frustrated. You get 5 minutes to enjoy this, because ultimately the job's not done, and that's where it becomes just to recalibrate, refocus on next practice, and we've got to watch the game back, look where we can improve again. Just that process, which a lot of times can feel frustrating to lads, because they just want to enjoy it and be in that moment and allow emotions to ride high, which there's certainly a time and a place, of course there is, but those times is just that release of emotion because of the achievement of that one game. And then it's back to the drawing board, and we dust ourselves down and we go again.
I think it's arguably the worst pitch I've played on, to be fair, but everyone was saying it. It wasn't just like us as a team, it wasn't just kind of our fans, it was like their fans, their players, their management, everyone.
We were warming up, and I was thinking, like, this might even get called off. Like, I can't slow down. If I sprint, then I can't slow down. The pitch is that hard, my studs won't go into the ground.
I just try and crack it when.
But you can't go into the game frustrated.
That's been our ethos here, is zero excuses no matter what happens and what the situation is.
I think we took a bit of a game plan of kind of not taking as many risks as we normally would, and then the way we carried it out was excellent. They scored a good goal early on, but then after that we were the ones creating the chances.
We had chances to win that game, but we come up against a very good, in my opinion, Kettering team.
Although we wanted to beat them and we feel like we can go anywhere and win, looking back, it's a great point.
Obviously we're biased, but I think Gateshead deserve it, and that's why it's such a pivotal few days. And I'm nervous. I am worried, because you don't want to get into this position, do you? And I'm sure you feel the same, as does everyone watching, listening. And for it to go wrong, because the players don't deserve that, the staff don't deserve it, and neither do the fans or the club. So hopefully it can be a really good bank holiday weekend, or if it has to go to next weekend, well, as long as Gateshead are still top and it's in their hands, that's a good outcome, isn't it?
Unless anyone's been living under a rock, Gateshead are 2 points clear at the top of the National League North table. In second place is Brackley. They're the only team that can catch Gateshead.
Oh boys, there's a good energy about today. You can feel it in the dressing room. Make sure we harness it, yeah? Every fucking bit of it taken into the game. Full of fucking energy today.
As long as Gateshead go out there and win their games, they will be champions. the Charters picks it up though. Then Rox cuts the middle, Dan Ward! Oh! They kept the work going to get the ball back. Taylor Charters pulls it back across. Manages to get it to Ollie and the ball over the top, and Dan Ward's going to get there. And can he get into the middle to Scott? He can. Scott, can he get space? Oh, what a finish! What a finish! Oh, he beats the goalkeeper on his right-hand side. It was millimetres the space he had.
Obviously 2-0 up flying, and then they get one back. It's kind of all, it is a bit of panic stations.
Overlap, and Langstaff didn't read the ball, and now it's been brought forward, and Magny went in for the tackle, but pulled out. Carberry puts it across. Hamney on the ball, goes for the shot, pulls it back. Archer puts it in the back of the net. It's 2-1, and well, from looking very comfortable, Gateshead have been opened up there.
But I think something that I've personally always wanted to do is kind of be someone who does things in the big moments, and you know, like can kind of take pressure off you.
Langstaff isn't given any ground there. Now Campbell wins it back, he drives into the ball, lays it off to Ollie. Ollie lays it across now. All 5 points clear. They only need 3 points to secure the championship.
To score the goal against Southport, probably one of the best goals I've scored for a while. It was an unbelievable feeling, and it was like a feeling of relief as well, to obviously run away to the fans, and you know, I had like certain family members there and stuff, and to see them all running after you, all the players and the staff and stuff. Yeah, it was one that I look back on with a lot of good memories.
Knowing how the group was at that moment in time in terms of the position that we were in mentally, you know, the confidence that we had, the peak physical condition that we had in that last run into the season, I had the utmost confidence that we would do it.
We chatted about it in here, the coach and staff, and for me, lads do respond all different ways in their own blueprints of the world and how they deal with pressure. But for me, no, I kind of addressed the elephant in the room a couple of days before, you know, in terms of the pressure and the emotion, and openly said to the lads, you know, does anyone feel the pressure? Whatever happens, you know, said in between the four walls stays in, you know, no one's going to know. But if you're feeling nervous, it's for me far better to address it now, because when the time comes and you're walking on that pitch and you can't control those emotions, then that's probably where trouble comes in. But yeah, I wanted to address it. I wanted to speak to the lads. I wanted to help them to understand that it's all about the process. You know, we have a plan of how we freshen it up, because I did make changes continually out the whole season, and I was planning to play one of the games, and it was only till close to the time it was more Ian's decision not to play me rather than mine, because I was desperate to play the Chorley game. I really wanted to, for, you know, just for because you know, the desire to play and enjoy it so much. But it was a collective decision, and that's what it's like. It's not a one-man band by any means. It's a collective, and if we decide that, you know, I'm better off on the sideline, then that's a decision. It's just about, let's go about our jobs.
I felt nervous. You know, I'm not even involved in the club really, other than reporting, but I felt nervous because I knew how much hard work had gone in over the last 2.5 years to get it to this point. Dave certainly was on commentary. I could tell that from the way he was talking.
I was nervous going down. I was thinking, oh, you know, if I can get something today, the draw on paper should have been enough, but you never know what results will be coming on the final day.
It was a bit of like a party down there for the fans, and obviously they're in fancy dress and there's loads of them.
Very surreal day really, because obviously we needed to win the game, and if we didn't and Brackley won, it still have gone and carried over, but it would have been goal difference.
Again, I didn't think I felt that much pressure, but warming up, and there must have been about 200, 300 of our fans there, was quite special, and you kind of knew it was that big game again.
The Heat Army are out in their masses to our right-hand side in the little cattle shed, the old-fashioned cattle shed.
I expect them to run, to fight, to head it and kick it, just like they've done all season, that's it. I don't expect anyone to do anything different, come off their perch and try and be a hero, or do something out of the ordinary.
It's difficult for me now because I pretty much come as a supporter. I wanted it so much for the lads to achieve that because they deserved it, and that's the staff as well, because I see how hard they work every day. They're just a likeable group. They're a good group of lads who work really hard, and I was nervous, I was.
Get, have a moment, get a breath. Start thinking about what you Start thinking about what you need to do. Alright, if you need to be active, you need to go metal all the time, or you need to be nice and composed and relaxed and focused. Whatever you need, get that in your head now. That's the performance today. Alright, you all that's going on today. Look at this. Yeah, this is the only thing that's going on. Keep breathing, keep relaxing. Think about why you play the game. 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 16-year-old. Why do you play the You're going to love this. Yeah, all of us, yeah? Last breath, big breath in, last one, fill it up, let it all out. Everyone good? Yes? Come on, good. Go on, everyone.
And we're underway as Jack Hunter launches the ball up to Irwin in the Chorley goal. The Charters has got support, but good tackle there. But Gateshead win the ball back. Now Dan Ward has it on the left-hand side. Can he take down left, cuts inside, goes for a shot. It's going to go wide. And, well, that's the pressure we like to see from Gateshead. Win the ball back, don't get them a chance to breathe. There's it back to Marshall, who's under pressure. Oh my word! And trickery on the line there.
Yeah, Craig turned inside the 6-yard box and nearly got caught out, didn't he? Good save. He's got away with it, but only good.
Keep possession of the ball. If you've got the ball, the other team can't score. The ball forward to Bailey. And how was he offside there, by the way?
Things just weren't quite clicking first half, and it was frustrating.
And the gaffer as well, Mike Williamson, of course, who was more or less like a right winger on timed on Saturday, and that's a foul on Henley by Bailey.
You know, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be stop-starty, and it was about seeing out some difficult periods, and we were going to have to do that.
Ollie plays it inside to Langstaff, back to Ollie. This is good stuff. This is better from Gateshead. We need a delivery, left-hand side of the box, puts it across. Keeper gets that all day, just plucks it out the air. Needed to be put in with a bit of pace and it hit height, that one. Thompson looks up. He's got Whitehouse and acres of space here, and Taylor Charters is over to try and block his move. So is Ollie, takes it down to the dead ball line, crosses it in deep towards the back post. Oh, it's in the back of the net. Jacob Blythe puts it in the back of the net at the back post. It was a deep cross. The goalkeeper was backpedaling, and there was Jacob Blythe to nod it in.
When you're 1-0 down at half time and you're looking around and you're thinking it's like a massive anti-climax, like just don't make it out a bit like that.
Ball played back, good pressure from Ollie's chasing down the goalkeeper and Halls. Still chasing Halls. Halls is going to have to play forward. Nice tackle from Ollie, and out it goes for a throw. Good pressure. That's what we need to see more of. Nice tackle from. Now can Ollie play the ball forward? Lovely ball. He's onside. Can he get into the box? Macaulay Langstaff. Can he finish it? Puts it in. Keeper makes a good save. Bounces over. Hasn't went out yet. It has now for a corner.
Get to the start. Find them passes again.
In the second half, like we have many times, the coaching staff come in, said their bit, and they come out and started well again.
Now plays the ball across to Kedwin Scott. He wants to sit up for him, but he does well to control it with the second touch. He's still going for the ball, needs some support. He's under pressure from two players. Down he goes. Free kick, good position.
That's excellent.
He drew the foul in from Scott Leather. In comes the ball towards the penalty spot, and it's been put behind for a corner.
I think our mentality was just go out and play the way we do, and we'll probably end up on the right side.
Well, Ollie's going to take this corner now, goes in. And brings Gateshead right back into it! He's really excited at this summer! Come on!
As soon as Mag scored, obviously you've seen our celebrations, we were all jumping around and buzzing, but then we were all very much like, let's go and get another one, let's go and like, seal it regardless of what anyone else does.
Ollie can bring the ball forward, gets past his man, driving forward. Dan Ward on the left hand side, he's gone through the middle, he's onside, Kenwood's gone, can he finish it? Blizzard off the damn ball! Oh, he's been missed it! He couldn't get there, the defender did enough.
Can't really explain how good a chance that was for Kevin Scott.
In it comes, oh, Henley didn't get the best still and it went behind, it's a corner.
Good score from a corner, which
yes, well, Ollie, he's gonna receive the ball, it's a short one here. Langstaff puts the ball into the box.
I remember hanging out at the back post and I was like, I would never really do that, I would normally be in the middle. When I felt the Maka, I thought he would score, to be fair, and he's obviously hit it. He's hit it pretty hard, but I knew it was heading towards me. I didn't really have enough time to think about it, to be honest. It was just kind of all instinct. To sort of share that with the fans and your teammates who are like my best mates was an unbelievable feeling.
Is that the goal? Is that the goal?
Heart rate went up, definitely went up. I think if I was just on that group up, it was just that never say die attitude.
It did feel like we'd probably done enough at that point.
Kids have just got to keep their heads now, nothing daft.
It's natural sort of body language and behaviour to, when you're ahead, be less risk-taking, and naturally you become a bit deeper, which isn't always safer.
Long throw comes in towards the 6-yard area, headed clear by Tinkler, running as far as Baines, places inside to Tomlinson. Tomlinson goes for an audacious one, and it's in! It curls and dips into the back of the net. It's 2-2 here.
Just took a wicked deflection and ended up in the back of the net, and you can't feel sorry for yourself, and you have to pick yourself up and make sure you draw the game at worst case scenario.
Mags wins a challenge down our right hand side.
Defender in front of him, with the heels in front of his feet, and that was a push there on Magnay and Jacob Blythe.
And I think you can just see through his sheer desire just to win that moment. It was just little moments like that across the game where we just knew that these players weren't going to allow the game to slip away from them.
He's looking at his watch. Still time to be played here as Tinkler wins the header, but he has to do well to get in front of Bright. He does well, plays out for a throw in here on the far side. It's going to be a long throw. Gateshead have to be on full defensive duty here in the dying moments. In comes the ball. Bright wins the header. It's headed clear by Gateshead.
Like, I was buzzing because I kind of knew that it was all but done. So I remember just sort of celebrating, and I was looking for people to like celebrate with, but then everyone started charging towards the away fans, and I was thinking, I don't know, it felt weird, like I couldn't really get on board with it, because I was thinking it doesn't sit right with me if they've won and kind of we haven't won it fully. So I was kind of was like standing by myself, and then obviously when the fans started flooding on, you sort of go towards them, and like, I think one of the fans said, oh, it's 2-2 Brackley. But I started laughing because I was thinking like they're just saying it because they want us to sort of join in with the celebrations. So I remember I made one of the fans get their phone up and show us the Twitter. And then when I seen 2-2, like, it's just, unbelievable feeling that it had happened, you know, we'd officially finally done it.
3 years ago, I wrote an article about this club dying. I had it written. Everything was done. I thought the club was gone with what went on before. So to be there on the pitch and see people that had worked hard to save this club in tears and emotional, I don't mind saying that got to me as well, and I got quite emotional on the pitch. And then I looked at people like Busted, Mike, Greg Ollie, people that had been there through that period. You could see what it meant to them.
You end up celebrating and then you just manage to somehow stumble upon another player and you're trying to hug everyone, and I just remember being shoved on someone's shoulders, and it's really it's an honour to have celebrated with all them people at that time.
My mum, dad, granddad, nana and uncle and stuff came down, went above and beyond to come watch us play and support the team and support me. It felt like it was almost you were kind of giving a bit back to them because they've give everything for you. So yeah, it was like a moment I'll cherish forever, really.
It's my fourth one, so first off, unbelievable. Every f***er from the start of the season had us written off. Had us written off as a club 3 years ago. Start the season, no one give us a f***ing bean to win the league. By the way, we'll push on the playoffs if we're good enough, but no one give you a f***ing bean. You've been the best team in the league by a country mile. Right, the biggest bit of advice I'll ever give you: enjoy this with every f***ing ounce you've got. All right, totally squeeze every little bit of joy. Celebrate as much as you possibly can, because it might be the only f*** you get. You never know. All right, well done, boys. Outstanding.
I will cry, so I'm not saying anything, but I've won the double, me. So no, lads, you deserve it, and the staff, you fucking deserve it, right? He's been different fucking class, and it's no coincidence. I've watched every other team's interview after the game. They're the best team we'll play. They're the best team we'll play. This doesn't come by fucking luck. That it's because you fucking are, and you deserve it. And I say how hard the lads work, and like Buster said, enjoy it, because I've going it, by the way. Well done, lads, for me. Well done.
I think the biggest success for this season is not that we're top of the league and we've won the league. It's that we've achieved that from the foundation of what we do each and every day, which is graft our nuts off, and it's all about this group right here, right now. And that was that I was proud just to be a part of today in the full season. It was a touch there for me, so thank you so much. Yep. Thank you so much.
We'll finish on that. Perfect. Enjoy it. Let's
Mike, Busted, finally confirmed today. I mean, first off, just how are you feeling at the minute?
Very happy, Jack. Obviously, we've just won the league, so happy.
Oh man!
That really was just a release of sheer joy. I must say that kind of Monday to Saturday, Sunday is probably one of the best weeks of my life. More than happy to share that, really, and I'm quite proud of it. Doing it with a group of players and doing it for this football club was just extra special because of what I've witnessed behind the scenes day in, day out of how hard people work, how much they want, and actually genuinely humble, hard-working, fantastic human beings achieving the success that we've all collectively wanted.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Had a really good night. Couple of nights, to be honest.
Kevin Scotty is the best on earth. Scoring goals, just what we need. Taking Gateshead to the National League. Stamina, Matty Jacob, Stamina, Cyclewa. He comes from Hull City and through it. Oh, she offers me protection, a lot of love and affection, whether I'm right or wrong. I'm loving busted instead.
We really enjoyed it and sort of celebrated it as we'd been over the season together. Sort of, I think everyone was present, which was good, and everyone had a really good time.
Even the week of training was so good, like just obviously knowing we're over the line, but just sort of relax and enjoy.
What about Monty doing his coaching badges on the Wednesday night? The worst I've heard that. I've got a Zoom call on one of the nights for his coaching badges.
No, he hasn't. Get in. Biggest skips again. Riser, it's never ever been a glove.
Ah, you're right.
Can't be. Even Keds hasn't got his gloves on.
Haven't withdrawn. I've got mine on, right.
Just about the biggest skip. Groups of three! Come on, please. Riser, 3 burpees, off you go. Round. Stomachs! Backs! Stomachs! Feet! Oh, well done, lads. Moving round. Thighs! Yeah. Does anybody see no foot? All of these and 43 burpees, pop. Idiot, man. Go and get yourselves a drink, boys. Beat your teams. Bill! You're in!
Nice, Mata!
Gotta get Mike!
Yes.
2-1 Blues. Didn't see that. Some people don't see it. Do you want to see that? People do it. Look at the sky. Turn back. Next one.
Sitting in this office and speaking to the lads, and the conversation was, what if we were going into this game needing the 3 points? The tension, the pressure would be completely different, but now you can take that big deep breath out, you can relax and you can just enjoy. And obviously stupid little things like just sorting out your family and friends coming, that you could have that a little bit more focus on making sure that everyone's coming who you love and you've supported, and the people that you do it for as well. You don't just do it for yourself, you do it for your family, you do it for the people who have put you on this platform and give you the opportunity to do what you love day in, day out. That might have been taking you, from under 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, all the way through. And then to see them out there and playing, it's emotional for all parents, very proud parents. So to say, even little details like that was quite nice to be able to focus on and not really be too stressed about the actual outcome of the game, which made it even more enjoyable week to build up into a nice celebration, which it was in the end.
You can't take photos of me yet. How are we doing now?
Is he really wearing that tonight?
Can you look at this, Jack? Come on.
You have to spell to the white polo. It's
just a golf.
We're going golf.
It's just a Reese number, baby. Worst dressed in the t-shirt. It's a Reese number, you're right.
Right, bro? Well, put the camera down so I can have a cuddle.
It was good to get it out there, to try and get a big crowd for the players, because I think they deserved that. They deserved to go and showcase themselves. I think the last game of the season, I thought it was a fantastic, with the way the club set it up. It was a really good day, loads of positivity.
It was just more like a celebration, to be honest. Like, we also had a job to do, you know, wanted to go out with a win. It was kind of easy in a way to just sort of take the pressure off yourself and just go out there and express yourself in front of your family and in front of the fans who've been unbelievable all season, and just give a bit back for them.
Jack, didn't get any boots in this shot, man. Didn't get them in.
Didn't embarrass him like that.
No, they want everyone to see.
He's quite happy still.
Shot. The goal scorer's out there.
We are in the final 30 minutes before Gateshead come out to play their final league game of the season that has seen them crowned champions of the National League North. It's a carnival atmosphere. The Tyne-and-Wear stand is full, complete sellout. It's going to be a fantastic occasion.
It was just cloud nine. We had, you know, over 4,000 Gateshead fans there, people there to see Gateshead.
I looked around the ground and I saw people of all ages, and I think sometimes you maybe see non-league clubs have quite an ageing fan base, but I looked at Gateshead that day and there was a lot of young kids with Gateshead shirts on.
They had a fantastic year, the 19s. They did really well. We won the cup and we won the league. We very much followed the first team. Everything they did, I tried to do with the 19s, and it was great for them to get the recognition they deserved as well. Yeah, it was a magical year.
If we lose this game, it won't change anything, but if we win this game, it will add to the celebrations right now. Let's just go and enjoy it, and you enjoy it by winning, and you win by working hard.
Come on then, boys, listen up quickly. Last mountains climb, alright? The fucking beauty of being zoomed in right now is we're not talking about life, we're not talking about success and awards, anything like that. We're not talking about ego. We're talking about winning a battle. Fucking right and wrongs. You've got something to prove. All right. Every fucking day, every game, when you zoomed in, you've got something to prove. There's somebody doubting you. There's been people doubting you your whole life. You've got a battle. You've got a battle with whoever's in front of you, collectively, together as a fucking family. So when we walk over that white line, every fucking inch we're detail orientated. Nobody wants to stand in front of somebody that is relentless, or a team or a machine that's relentless, and that's today. All right. We cement our identity, our philosophy, who we are, and we can go about our business winning this game through everything we've done all season, getting to those standards, the detail. Every time the ball goes out, we're switched on. It's all about the prep, all about our mentality. We go out and enjoy it, but we enjoy it by winning. All right, come on, one more time. Let's go.
Led by the captain, Greg Ollie, the champions of the National League North, Gateshead. They were already legends and heroes this season, but they cemented that with the league title on Monday away to Chorley. And we brace ourselves for the final 90 minutes here of the National League North. Can Macaulay Langstaff is onside? Can he finish it here? One-on-one with the keeper. Yes! It's in! Macaulay Langstaff makes it 1-0! It was a tight angle in the end. And I think there might have been a touch from the Hereford player just before it went to the back of the net. But who cares? It's 1-0 to Gateshead, and Macaulay Langstaff adds to his total this season. Ward puts the ball through. It's going to bounce off. Black gets it front. Can Macaulay Langstaff finish it? Yes! It's 2-0! Macaulay Langstaff! He's got a brace! What a way to finish the season!
It's fitting, isn't it, that Macaulay is the one that has taken Gateshead to the win today after the season he's had. He's been so instrumental in a number of ways in this title win.
We joked that if I got a couple and was tied with him, we would make a double substitution and ask to be both taken off. But no, I'm delighted that he's won that. I just wanted it to be one of us from Gateshead who'd won it. I'm very close with Macca on and off the pitch, so now I'm buzzing for him.
talk of the stadium. It normally revolves around that running track. But to do it the way it was done, with the supporters, you know, behind the players, it kind of signified, again, what this club's about. You know, everyone celebrated together.
Winning the league it's not something I've experienced, and it's something that's just magical. I would say it's probably up there and maybe surpasses getting to Wembley as a fan. For me, I think this team has done something very special.
This is probably like the 4th time I've tried to get it right in terms of my description of how I feel, and I don't think I have quite got it right, and probably still won't, because I don't think there's that often you do achieve the goal that we've achieved with, you know, such a tight group of human beings. I'm not talking about just the football players or the coaching team, I'm talking about the people who are part of the football club, who work for the football club, the fans. Everyone is a good human being who just wants the best for this football club.
We're all, I would say, friends with each other, like not just in football, actual friends.
My brother had a playoff final game and my dad wasn't there, and obviously he would be at all the games. There was a bit of us thinking, like, is my dad going to be there? And I wanted him to be there so much because obviously he's beaten all the games. But then, like, when I found out that my brother's team had won and he'd scored and my dad had made it to the stadium, I knew that before walking out, so that was massive for me. I know that most, if not all, the important people, other than obviously my brother who's playing, were kind of at the ground and at the stadium, and they're just, yeah, like, unbelievable feeling, and one I'll never forget, really.
I can only speak on my parents and the sacrifices they had to make, and we were never very well off financially, but whenever I needed a new pair of boots or shin pads like that, you know, I always got it. The amount of times I used to play Saturday and 2 games on Sunday, so the whole weekend was just taken up by just ferrying me around. This is our passion, this is a job, but ultimately family for me in my value system was the most important thing, and to be able to share those moments with the families was nice.
I seen Sonia and Mike and they said, oh listen, you're going to get a medal, and I was like, I don't want a medal, I've got nothing to do with it. And he was like, it's non-negotiable, Ben. He just said you deserve a medal, and I was like just it's the type of bloke he is, and he's just a fantastic human being and a fantastic person, and it was a really, really good moment, and I think I've had my medal on since.
Yeah, anyone I've spoke to, I've said that's probably the proudest moment I've had in football, if not like my life. So it was just a real feeling knowing that I'm walking out and everyone's going to be focusing on me, and like all the team are just waiting there for us to lift the trophy, and it might never ever happen again, but obviously I hope it does.
Let's all have a disco, silver and disco.
Yeah. Just the one Newcastle one. What do you think? Into the Premiership.
Oh, Championship. He said the first cup.
How hard do you think I am, mate?
Are you giving me boots? I've got loads of pictures.
Jack, take a picture.
Thank you. Cheers. Go on then, Mike. You can have it for your family.
Everyone in that reception was part of what we'd achieved this season.
You know, I won't name names, but there was some parents enjoying slightly more than others in the after the post-match celebrations, which is fantastic. It's what it's all about.
I hear you calling, oh baby, live and respect
It's like the best decision I've ever made in my life, to be totally honest. I didn't know until the last day that Mike said that Louis was the one who kind of really pushed for us. And so that meant a lot, because he would never say that to us, he would never tell us that he was the one doing it. He's more like a brother to us than a mate, and he's been like that since I was like 10 years old, if not younger. You know, he's always there for us, he's always sort of asking how I am, and obviously it's difficult when I was at Newcastle and he was playing at like South Shields and stuff. We're obviously still in contact and we still see each other regularly, but it was difficult to sort of work together and train together and stuff. But then obviously in pre-season, when I kind of had nothing coming up, and he said sort of, I want you to come in, and I'm just delighted that he's sort of put faith in me, really. And to share moments like that with him, when you know what he's been through as well, and he knows what I've been through, like, I don't think anything can ever describe what it feels like to win a league with like your best mates, who genuinely, like, some of them are genuinely best mates before I came in, but like a lot of them now I would class as me really like good mates, best mates as well, since meeting them this year. And obviously, like, with the management being so close, that means a lot as well. And then obviously the likes of yourself, James, like, there's so many people behind the scenes who I feel like I've just got so close with since coming in. So to be able to share that with everyone was such a good feeling, and one that it'll be almost impossible to sort of replicate. So yeah, it was just one of the best things that could have happened, to be honest, if not the best thing. So I'm just so glad I came in. I'm so glad that everyone sort of took a chance on us, because it allowed us to have this season, which was undoubtedly the best season I've ever had.
Adam, you were at the club, before you had a spell on loan here, but since you've come back, you mentioned to me a few weeks back, it was a completely different club. How have you found it?
I've loved it. I think I've done quite a few interviews now where I've said the same thing, but this club's always been special. It's always had that little feeling, it's had that great connection with the fans. But this time it just feels that little bit more, and obviously you've seen the group that Mike and Busted and the team have put together, and I think that comes out on the pitch, and it comes out in the club, and it comes out in the fans. So yeah, it's changed a lot, but it's all for the good.
For me, knowing all the lads, it's very difficult for me to comment on one player because they've all just been exceptional, and the boys have expressed the joy working with them. That's the real success. But yeah, this lad, he's been on his own journey, and I think there's a lot of more experiences for him. He came in, chatted to him. He was actually openly talking about doing a university course as well that has possibly been touched on. But when we see him in training, we saw the ability and his technical and tactical kind of desire to put the ball in the back of the net in training. It was evident. He needed that environment to really make him excel, and like I say, that was what us guys have really tried to build around this place and this group of lads, and yeah, he deserves every accolade and reward he gets.
And the winner is?
Macaulay Longstaff.
Headwood as well, we should say. Made quite the partnership.
Yeah, comfortable in the end, wasn't it? It's been brilliant with the kids and Adam and Blackie, you know, it's been a pleasure playing with all the boys, but them three in particular, it's a pleasure to play with. I think we're all quite similar. And to put in the performance we have done and to get the amount of goals we have done. I said at the start of the season I wouldn't be surprised if all 4 strikers got at least 15 goals. And we did that, so it's been brilliant.
Brilliant, well done, mate. Keep doing what you're doing, keep getting behind the lads, enjoy your night, and we'll see you all next season. Well done, everyone.
I still don't feel like it's properly sunk in that we've won the league. Not many people accomplish that in their careers. So for us as a group of players, I think we just have to take that knowledge that we are good enough to do it. So I think that's probably what we'll take in the next season, to have no fear. We'll go back to being the underdogs, which probably plays in our hands, and that's the way we like it.
I'm at pains to keep going back to what went on, but the club got under my skin during that time because I saw what it meant to people. And I know there's a constant criticism of Gateshead that the crowds aren't what they should be and all that rubbish that gets thrown at them. But it's a special club, and I said that at one of the first Gateshead Soul meetings. You know, this is a special club, and the people that will save it will be the ones that hold it dearest. And that's why it's unique. That's why it can be a success going forward. And that's why there is something a little bit different about this football club.
It's only going to get tougher, but I think if you look around the dressing room, and obviously hopefully we can keep a hold of most of the players, and I think everyone will be confident that we can go up there and kind of show what we're about, and it's almost like a clean slate to kind of show all the teams what we've got and put our sort of stamp on the league and see how we compete against the likes of the big teams, like Notts counties and stuff. So yeah, let's see what happens and see where we go, but hopefully we'll have a good year.
Are we potentially more underdogs? I think that's another quite safe statement to make. Do we care? No, not at all. And the bigger the mountain, the more fun it will be to climb. So yeah, looking forward to going to some of the big clubs, Wrexham, Chesterfield, Notts County, some huge clubs in the league. But ultimately I still think the best football is ahead of me, so I'm looking forward to next season.